So I have opened a brand new Evernote account so that I can show you guys what it's like to create your own Evernote from the beginning. So if you go to evernote.com, you give them your email, you set up a password, and they take you right into your own Evernote. Evernote is like a notebook where you could keep all your notes. I am a Post-it note junkie, so I imagine each of these like little Post-it notes that I can access anywhere. Everything's online. You can download and have an Evernote that's downloaded that you can encrypt the information and all that kind of stuff. If you want to put personal information on there, you do have to have, if you want encryption, you do have to have the downloaded version of Evernote onto your hard drive. I don't use that. I use Evernote that's web-based. It's also linked to my phone. And I use this mainly for my business, but also for personal stuff too, like ideas for a house or a grocery list or whatever, because it's accessible across all different kinds of devices. So I always tell my team to use Evernote to create, and I'll show you some of the notes that I have created in my own, but just for links. If somebody wants a link to a program, you don't have to go to your online office, look for the code, da-da-da-da-da-da. You've got that link created. You can come in here to your note, you can copy and paste and move on. So I use this for all kinds of stuff, and I will show you my own personal Evernote. So this is the new version of Evernote that we're looking at now. It does look different than the version that I use. I reverted back to the old version because I prefer it. There are just a couple different things that just kind of bug me, and so I went back to the old version. And I'm not even sure if you can do that now or not. Does not look like it. There should be something here that says you can, but doesn't look like it. You'll probably play around with that, but cancel. Okay, so over here you've got options to create a new note. So these are your notes going into a notebook. So you can rename this in your notebook, or you can create new notebooks. So those are all over here. So you're creating notes that go into notebooks, and then you're going to give them tags. Tags are a way of sorting the notes so that you can organize them and keep track of them. So I tag all of my challenge group posts with a certain tag. That way I can go over to that challenge group tag, I can click on it, and all those different groups are in there. So we'll talk about using tags to organize as well. Shortcuts is another great thing that we'll create notes and we'll pop them into shortcuts. That way it's up and available. So there's none in here right now, but they'll be accessible so you don't have to go searching for them. The search function is fantastic. If you create a note about Shakeology, you don't need to tag it Shakeology, because if you come in here and you search Shakeology, it's going to pull up everything it can find that has the word Shakeology, including images. So if you use, let me see, up here on my browser, there's this clip to Evernote. It's called Web Clipper. If you use that when you're out on the internet, you can clip anything, a screenshot, an article, or whatever. And if you clip a picture, it will actually search the images as well for the word that you're looking for, okay? And you can do, you can share all of these notes. I share my notes with my coaches who are actively working the business, who need access to all the stuff that I do. They don't use it all, but it's there. And I've never used the work chat function, but I'm sure it's fantastic as well. So let's go to notes, and we're gonna click plus to create a new note over here. So let's give it a title. Let's call it Shakeology. And then you can come down here, and maybe you want this to be like the things about Shakeology that you want to remember to tell people, that it contains superfoods and it's $4 a day or whatever. You can create this list of items that you want to this note to have to do with. So I've got my Shakeology note. That's great. Now what? So you come up here and you can give it a tag. You don't need to tag it Shakeology because that's not what you need. What I do, and there are different, I shouldn't say not what you need. You can figure out what system you want to use to organize your tags. And if you look at how Michael Hyatt does, you can do a Google search for Michael Hyatt and Evernote, and he'll show you how he sorts his tags. And I'll show you how I sort mine as well. But you want to give it a tag that you can use to organize, not necessarily to find your Shakeology notebook, okay? So let's say these are things that you want to tell customers. So trying to think if that's a good tag or not, but we'll work with that. So if you give it a symbol beforehand, it's going to sort your tags with the symbol first. So it's in alphabetical order. I use symbols before all of my tags to keep them all the same. So let's say you want this to be talking points. Okay, you're going to have a tag called talking points. You can make a note. So let's make another note. Okay, so done. We're done. We've got our first note, and it's Shakeology. And these are things that are talking points. And we're going to create another note, and we're going to call this one 3-day refresh. We're going to talk all the great things about 3-day refresh. It's only 3 days. It is a cleanse, okay? This is especially helpful if you're a new coach, and as you learn things, you can reinforce what you've learned by creating a note, okay? And then I'm going to start with the exclamation point, and look what pops up, my tag that I've already created, talking points. Now again, to clarify why I use an exclamation point ahead of time is that it's gonna show up in my tags at the very top. I like to organize my tags with the symbols so that then I can look for the ones that have that symbol. Like, so if this was my note, my tag for my note, I would put exclamation point 3-day refresh. Now, like I said, you don't have to do that. You don't need to put that tag there because you will be able to search it. But I like to do it this way because it helps me keep track of my tags. So if we say we're done, we're going to go, and it's got those 2 tags. I'm going to go back into my Shakeology note, and I'm going to add a exclamation point Shakeology tag. Now, when I come over here, this is where all my tags are. It's going to show I've got a 3-day refresh, a Shakeology. They're all talking points, but they're filed underneath here. So if I come to my talking points, it used to be, well, this is one of the reasons why I like the new version. So you could be able to stack these all together, and I'll show you it in my old version. And I'll play around and see if I can get the old version back, even when you open a new account. But you can stack these 2 talking points in here. And unfortunately, it's not letting me do that now. So if I go back here, so what you can do is that you can, I guess we'll just take those tags off there. That won't help you guys. Okay, so talking points, we'll just take that tag off. Take this tag off. All right, now if I go to my tags and I click on talking points, there are my 2 talking point items of things that I want to talk about. And you can sort them like how they show up on your screen. So if I know I want to talk to somebody, I'm going to trash those since they're empty and they're just cluttering up stuff. Oops, maybe I didn't want to trash it. Is it still over here? Okay, good. So I'm just trashing the tag. I'm not trashing the note. See if I can do it. There we go. Okay, so the only tag that I have right now is exclamation talking points, and I've got 2 different notes in there. Okay, so I want to make another note, and this one's going to be a challenge group of some type. How about one that you're going to create, Eat Like Me? And then I actually have a note like this, Eat Like Me, and I keep all the recipe ideas for my group and post things that I want to share. Like I practice intermittent fasting, so I'll share that with people because it's something that I do and that's how I eat. I'll talk about eating real food. So I brain dump all kinds of ideas in here, and then as I post in the group, I copy and paste those in here so that I have posts for future. I can always recycle posts. Okay, I'm going to give it a tag. I'm going to tag this one with the @ symbol, challenge group. Okay, so if I come over here to my tags, I've got two different tags. I've got talking points and challenge group. Under challenge group, I have Eat Like Me, and I can continue to add notes and add challenge group ideas. But it's easily sorted and organized by these symbols. I'm going to do one more just so you can kind of see how the tags work. What's another one that I use for Evernote? Let's see. So the # products. Oh no, let's do links because that's a good one. No, it's not. Products. And let's say you have, oops, I'm sorry, that's my tag, not my title, right? I'm going to talk about TurboFire. I'm going to give it a tag of #products. And then I'm going to talk about TurboFire. It's got Shalene, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And in this note, I would include the link for the TurboFire pack, TurboFire Challenge Pack. I have a note that's all links, so I don't necessarily come to the products just to look for links. But if you need to tell people what TurboFire is like and you've never done it, go to your Coach Online office, copy and paste. If you see people talk about it or maybe they've had success story, copy and paste that right into this notebook so that you can share it. Okay, and I give it that #products because I'm going to add other notes with that hashtag products. And this one's going to be PIO. And I'm going to talk about PIO, that is Pilates and yoga set in motion. Like the way that I talk about PIO, I learned what I thought it was, what it means to me, how to explain it, and I put that into a note so that until it became ingrained in my brain, I knew how to find it. Okay, so if I come over here to my tags, I've got all my 3 tags, and under products, there it is, PIO and TurboFire. If I search PIO, there it goes. It pulls up my note that's titled PIO. So you can always search. It's very easy to do. If we wanted to, let's make some of these let's look at all of our notes here. So let's say that I post for my Eat Like Me group every single Sunday. So that needs to be in my shortcuts so that I can easily access it. So I'm going to click that star and add a shortcut. So that when I come to my shortcut page, there it is. Boom. I'm right into my Eat Like Me note, and I can do what I need to do. I have one notebook right now, and you can create multiple notebooks. I don't. I have one that's my personal stuff, and then I have one that I call my cabinet, like a file cabinet. It's got everything in it. So I used to have a bunch of notes sorted into a bunch of different notebooks, and then you begin to run out of notes. You can only have, there's a limit on notes that you can have. It's a huge number, but for the free account, there's a limit on notes, and there's not a limit on tags. If there is, it's like 1 million. So it's better to organize with tags than it is to create 100 notebooks and put notes in there, okay? Just have one notebook, and you should be able to rename it, but I don't know how to do it in here. But we can figure that out. So just have the one notebook that's accessible. And then if somebody wants to, like you want to share this notebook with your team, you just click Share Notebook and you enter their email. It's incredibly easy. Always, unless it's a work project. Like Karen and I will work on our leadership ladder group that we came up with. We could share it so that we could edit each other's, kind of edit back and forth. But I always just do view for my big notebook because I don't want everybody to mess with my stuff. Like I want it to be the way that I have it set up. So you can share. So we did tags. We talked about notebooks. This is my notebook, and there's all my notes that are in there. And if you come in here and you got to scroll, oh, I'm looking for that Eat Like Me. Where is it? Well, instead of scrolling through all your notes, that's why we use tags. Because I know it's a challenge group. I can go right in there, and there's my Eat Like Me group. Okay? So now I'm going to log out, and then I will come back in and show you my mine, because this is the one that I set up with my daughters so that you can see what it's like brand new. So just be forewarned, I have a lot of notes going on here. I really use this as my brain dump. Okay, so this is the old version. It's not as sleek. It's a little more bulky, but I like certain features about it. So here's my shortcuts up here. Links. This note has, every time there's a special, each month the specials, I copy and paste them into here, and I put my coach ID number at the bottom, and any link that I need that I've already given to someone, I copy and paste it into here. Then I don't have to go back and create it again. Challenge pack letter. So if I have, somebody orders a challenge pack, these are the things that I tell people over and over and over again. Take your pictures, get your almond milk. This is how you're going to mix Shakeology. You get free membership into the club, blah, blah, blah. So instead of having to write that out again each time, I copy and paste it. Shakeology letter, same thing, especially for lead customers. This is what I send them. It's very easy to not have to mess with that. Dinner. So these are my recipe ideas as I find them on the internet or whatever. I pop them in here. So then when it's time for me to share with my Eat Like Me group on Sundays, like I do every week, I can copy and paste right into the group. And it helps me keep organized with my recipes too. Every week I send a PIO class email. You get the idea. Like share. This one is a challenge group, the sex one, if you're wondering why I have sex there. I don't like keep weird, funky stuff. I guess I do. Okay, so these are the two different notebooks that I have. Mine, all mine, that's mine. Those are my personal stuff, my house ideas. And then there's my cabinet. This is the mother load. There's 171 notes, which is a lot. And I basically dump everything. Karen and I are getting together this weekend to talk over stuff, so I made a note of what I want to make sure we talk about. So now that you understand a little bit about what my shortcuts are and how the cabinets and notes work, these are the tags. So like I said, in this old version, you can stack all your tags. This one right here is, I titled it Upcoming Group. So this is the PIO group, and these are people that I want to make sure I add to that upcoming group. Now, you'll notice that it is outside of, it's got an exclamation point, but it's not. Let me expand this. Okay, so here's my exclamation challenge group. All my challenge group, I put an exclamation point in front of them, and they're all different. But they're all nested under challenge groups, except for this one, because I just created it and I forgot to nest it. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to drag it up into challenge groups, and now it's nested underneath their upcoming group. Okay, so I can unexpand that, and then I've got all my programs. So if I want to talk about size or anything like that, then I've got stuff here that I can, the calendar, the eating guide, things like that. So all the links for all the programs that I want to talk about or might need, like when Boost came out, I made sure I made notes and read online, and stuff from the Shakeology page, that's in here. Blog ideas, and you'll see I use those symbols in front so that every note that I have under there is tagged with that same symbol. Coaching, this is the one that's the biggest one. This is the one that I usually share. And you can't just share the tag like this. Like, you can't share that. So I share my whole notebook. I share this whole cabinet with my team. And so this is where I keep track of all that stuff. You know, what are the benefits of coaching? Okay, there, I can explain to somebody what the benefits are. Coach placement, stuff for new coaches. This is my biggest one. I've got 42 notes in this that are tagged with this. And these are things that I want to share with my new coaches. So that's, and I give them all that same negative sign dash in front so that I know that those kind of things are going to be part of coaching. So those all have tags. These down here don't have the tags. They have tags, but they don't have the R tags, but they don't have a symbol in front. And that's because they don't really necessarily fit into the other ones. And there's not very many of them here. So it's easy enough for me to just come over and click on it and get it done. So use this for everything, especially things that you share over and over and over again. And it's incredibly easy to organize it with tags. And if it doesn't make sense, because I don't do a great job of explaining tags, but if it doesn't make sense, Google it. Google Evernote tags, and you will see how other people use Evernote to organize their business. And I'm telling you, it will be a game changer. You will feel much more in control. You will feel much less overwhelmed because everything's here and you know exactly where it is and how to get to it. And I strongly encourage you not to make 500 different notebooks. Have one notebook that you title whatever. Mine's titled Cabinet. Have one notebook. Have lots of notes and give them tags. And if you have questions, you know how to find me.